What up, chat? Missed y'all. Look, we're back. Um, got a lot to unpack, including a unboxing, pun intended. Shout out AMP. So last night, I'm just gonna get straight into it. Cause there's a lot circulating online right now. Last night, Javante, Tank Davis, and Lamont Roach had a match at the Barclays here in Brooklyn, New York, and I was in attendance. Shout out to CTG, man. You the real MVP, man, for real. Um, Let me grab the mic too, cause there's a lot to talk about, but I'm gonna try to make it brief for you guys. Like I said, man, shout out to CTG, the man, the real MVP, man. I was in attendance. I have some highlights from ringside that we'll get into, but first, obviously, I'm gonna show the highlights that are like on PBC Boxing on YouTube, just so we can go through that. It's only like 3 minutes, so we'll get through it fairly quick. So before we get started, uh, disclosure: I'm a huge Tank fan, Tank Davis fan. I've been following him for the past over, I would say, since like 2017, 2018, over 5 years now. And since he was wearing the OVO gear on his walk into the ring, and since Mayweather was ringside with him, and that obviously came to an end. But I also, with that being said, I also wanted to say that I grew a lot of respect and admiration for Lamont Roach. He actually came up to the Breakfast Club. Shout out to Breakfast Club, and he did an interview, and his energy was so he was very respectful. His energy was very calm, very modest. He had his pops there, he had his team there. His team was the same, calm, collected, respectful energy, and all around it just seemed like it was funny because during the interview, obviously before the interview, a lot of people in general, casual boxing fans and even hardcore boxing fans weren't familiar with Lamont Roach. So we just everyone had their eyes on Tank, and just everyone expected Tank to just make this a clean sweep. But shout out Tank, it was a great fight. But Lamont came to Breakfast Club, and he had this level of confidence that even kind of surprised the Breakfast Club themselves and everyone else behind the scenes, including myself. And he just seemed very too calm, almost like he. It was this kind of like when you believe in yourself, but so he was given that. Like there's a difference. A lot of some boxers would come on Breakfast Club, and they seem a little, they'll be overly confident or confident, but you can see there's a little bit of anxiety or frustration or just some tension or just stuff in the air. But Lamont gave just this energy that was very cool, calm, and collected, and we were just kind of surprised. Even after he exited, he was done with the interview. We were just like, this might actually be one of those fights, that might shock the world, which it did in a sense, in a few for a few reasons. Um, but before we continue and watch these highlights, I'm gonna finish off by saying it was my first time seeing Tank fight in person. I was practically ringside. Once again, shout out CTG, man, the real MVP, man. And I was a bit disappointed, just because it looked like Tank couldn't find his rhythm and figure out Lamont Roach. And usually, Tank in the early rounds, he'll figure out his opponent. He'll it'll take some time for Tank to get there. But in this fight, like I feel like I really like once the 12th round came, I couldn't believe it. I was like, there's no way this is the 12th round. So that was what really disappointed me, that the rounds, they went by so quick, and it started off too slow to the point where by the time we started getting some serious action, the fight was practically over. So I think Tank was trying to find a way to say timeout without saying timeout when he took that knee, by the way. It totally looked like, it's not like there was punches thrown right before he took the knee. Like, it's not like he got hit and then took a knee. It's like literally is the beginning of the round, I believe, if I can recall correctly. And obviously we'll watch it and I'll look back at my footage because I was essentially recording like every round practically. But yeah, like you can tell it was kind of like Tank had, like, even during the fight, it looked like he wanted to say timeout for a second, but he was like, let me just like take a knee and just say timeout like that. But I don't know if you would count that as a knockdown. I read something somewhere that said Mayweather once took a knee for some reason, and they counted it as a knockdown. And obviously we know Mayweather's record's undefeated. I'm also disappointed that Tank has this on his record now, which is a draw. I really wanted Tank to go undefeated in his career, and I know he just announced he's retiring after the next 3 fights, but we'll see. Hopefully we could get Shakur Stevenson, we can get Lomachenko, we can get Devin Haney, maybe a Ryan Garcia rematch, maybe even a Pitbull Cruz rematch, all for Tank. But obviously the next super mega fight, I would say, is Terrence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez. So yeah, okay, so let's get into the highlights real quick. I also want to say that towards the middle of the fight and even at the end, you can see Lamont Roach's face seemed a little more bruised up than Tank's. But it definitely looked like Lamont landed more punches than Tank did in the 12 rounds. And Tank every time they had an exchange, Lamont Roach had like an answer. Like, he responded with beautiful combos. He had his precision was excellent, great landing. And he just, even in the ring, he maintained that same momentum and composure, cool, calm, collected, and respected energy that he had even during the interview at Breakfast Club and the interviews I've seen online, and just the way he was carrying himself throughout this whole time leading up to the fight. So yeah, let's get into it. And let's see, what's up. Let's get into it.
Much, and a sold-out crowd here in BK awaiting the arrival.
Okay, gentlemen, you both received instructions in the dressing room. I want you to obey the commands and protect yourselves at all times. Right now, we'll call it on the low on the green. We're going to go low underneath the black.
Wonder if I'm on camera in this. Okay.
Tackle up. It's going to work.
Number 2 pencil, but he'll need more than wit to withstand Davis.
Yeah, so this is first round. I feel like I might as well just skip it. I don't know why the first round in the highlights nothing really happened until like the 4th or 5th round. Look, see, they just skipped to the 3rd round. This is when like there was just a few exchanges. But you can tell it looked like Lamont definitely had a heavy hand. Like he's a heavy hitter, hard hitter. And I think he figured out Tank before the fight even started. Like, he definitely studied Tank to the point where he was able to just keep his defense to a T for the most part. Frank Martin, when Tank fought Frank Martin before, I believe it was the fight before this fight, last time Tank fought. Frank Martin was actually doing great with Tank. I think it was like for the first 5 rounds. I forget what round Frank Martin got knocked down.
How nasty was the speed of that counter shot? It was like a shovel.
Yeah, it's already on round 7.
Davis leading with the left.
Another thing too, I'm not sure if they're gonna show in the highlights. I might actually have it in one of my videos that I took from Roach Ringside, but Tank was ducking and hugging a lot of the time in this fight, which was unusual. And it looked like he kind of hugged Lamont's leg.
Roach rips a left hook to the body. Good stuff here in round 7.
He's got to be careful because it almost seems like Tank is waiting for
I
him to throw the right hand and counter.
Uncoiled on left
have to
hand.
hang on for this because I don't get like copyright. Yes.
Davis just got backed up.
Wait, I want to see that one more time because I was recording ringside and I was missing some stuff just because the where I was sitting was at an angle, so I was behind Lamont Roach's corner, so I could like see Tank's corner face to face, but like the corner would block, so whenever they would fall, they would end up on like the side of the ring, I could barely see, and also because I'm like recording, but I'd rather like see it in person. I just had to make sure I get the highlights because with Tank, you never know. You know, the sport of boxing in itself is unpredictable, but with Tank, he's like a knockout artist, so you just never know what round could have been the round. But lucky for Lamont Roach, none of the rounds ended up like that. So I want to see that one more time.
Davis just got back. Davis just got backed up with a counter right from Roach.
It looked like, oh yeah, I remember they replayed this. It looked like a tooth kind of flew out, unless it was just spit or something. But I don't know. You guys tell me. Tank. Hold on. Look. See that? It could have just been sweat, but even in the Jumbotron that was above. Oh, I didn't mean to pause it on that frame. But even in the Jumbotron, it looked like something flew out his mouth. I hope it wasn't a tooth, but you can tell Lamont's definitely a heavy hitter for sure. Oh, there's the knee. Yeah, that's the knee. So, I don't... Yeah, this was kind of the beginning of 9. Nothing really happened in 9, if I can recall. Oh, no, I'm lying. Okay, so yeah, it looked like they could have counted it as a knockdown. But he looked at the ref. You guys can see, obviously. Tank looks at the ref. He got his eyes closed. He's doing like the mean face. He looks at the ref. Obviously, he got some sweat. He took a knee. I want to show you guys. It's so funny. I think I was recording during this time. There was people in the crowd. They were obviously, you know, very upset. And there was like an exchange in the crowd with two guys. One of the guys was like, "Yo, that's a knockdown, Tank. What are you doing?" And that same guy was rooting for Tank, so it's not like he was just being biased or anything. And then there's this other guy who was like, "Man, that's Tank Davis. He could do whatever he wants. You know who he is?" Which is true and true. But listen, I'm not sure the extent of the rules in boxing to the T. But in my opinion, you take a knee, it's a knockdown, no matter what, especially if the round already started and, you know, hits have been exchanged already. But Tank, I feel like Tank, like I said earlier, he was looking for a way to say timeout without saying timeout, like with his gloves, or without saying like timeout to the ref. But you can see, like, it looked like maybe he had the sweat in his eyes that burn or whatever from the oil and the braids in his hair. And he looked at the ref really quick. He took the knee, and he goes to his corner. So it's not like he was hurt. But then again, like I said, I don't know the extent to the sport of boxing. So taking a knee, and from what I know, is always considered a knockdown. I'm not sure, but they obviously didn't count it in the scorecards at the end. Well, the judges didn't.
Roach eating some big shots and coming right back.
A minute and a half left in what has been an eventful night.
Yeah, this was very surprising. Like seeing Tank, he kept hugging a lot. I never... Yeah, Lamont definitely figured out Roach, man. I mean, Lamont Roach definitely figured out Tank, man. It was a great fight for the most part. Not the first like 4 or 5 rounds, but look, see 12 of 12 already. The other thing too is that, see, you can see Lamont's face look a little more bruised up a bit. But
IRS e-file is now
Lamont, all right, let's get back to the streaming, guys. So shout out to Lamont. Definitely feel like he put on a show for the world, and he proved himself in that ring last night. hopefully we can get Lamont to either do a rematch, if not fight someone else. Maybe Shakur, maybe Devin Haney, maybe even Ryan Garcia. I think Lamont's legacy starts now. And, maybe Tank Davis is actually going to be retiring after these next 3 fights. I mean, I wouldn't have been, not surprised, but I wouldn't have been upset if Tank had retired after 30 fights because he was 30-0, but now he has a draw. So it just sits with me weird. It doesn't sit with me, fine, but, we'll see what happens. Eli with the comb is back. Pretty boy Eli. Sorry, my hair's bothering me right here. What do we got? All right, so look, I want to also go into, I want to see if I can show you guys can I? No way. This would be so clutch. You guys ready? Oh, let's go. All right, cool. I'm going to show you guys the videos I took from ringside. And, this is going to be so cool. All right, one love. Love you guys. All right, I hope you guys enjoy. I'm going to try to sit back, relax, and just do not play-by-play. So, obviously, this is me making my way downtown, walking fast. I got to get to ringside. And there's Fabo. And there was Jake Paul. And Amanda Serrano was in attendance too. But did you know this off the top of the dome? All right, here we go. All right, cool. Yup, see there's Tank in the locker room. I was solo dolo, but once again, I want to say shout out to CTG, man, the real MVP, man. You already know what it is. Love. So grateful and thankful I got to experience this. This is my second boxing match I've been to. I went to the Ryan Garcia fight versus Devin Haney, and that was an absolute blowout. I believe this is Lamont walking in, and Tank pulls up next. We'll just skip through it because it was too tough to I'm not that tall guy, so I'm not like standing over, towering over anybody. So it was tough for me to like get a good angle, but I got the Jumbotron for you guys, so thank you, lady. All right. Oh, and one thing I want to highlight, I almost forgot. Fabulous and Jim Jones brought out Tank, which I thought was dope. Jim Jones was also just on the Breakfast Club, so make sure you check out that interview. Yeah, man, amazing stuff. I love the New York. Oh, I'm lying. That wasn't even Fab. I said Fab, sorry, because Fab was on the Jumbotron. All right, here we go. It was so tough trying to catch her. You guys can see this, right? I hope. Okay. And the stream stopped. Okay, I'm gonna just hold right there, and I'm gonna continue it. I gotta reset my Twitch and kick really quick. Bear with me, guys. Bear with me. Bear with me. I didn't want this to happen today, but it happened. I'm just gonna have to face it. You got something real, not basic. You wanna get with me, stop playing. Settings, twin, where have you been? Apply.